Welcome back. Right, to our final part, we're delighted to say that on the other end of the line, we've got Dean Goddard, who's PR media representative, spokesman for OLBG, who obviously sponsor the big mares races and Cheltenham being the pinnacle of that. Good evening, Dean.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. I mean, we've been dissecting the form. We find it a very hard race to get the winner from. But you've seen a number of trainers this week. And first of all, I suppose Nicky Henderson is one of those. And how was he on Polly Peacham?
Yeah, just before I touch on that, just because I've been watching and I heard Matt mention a bit of a puzzle. I've not spoke to Harry Fryer for a few weeks, but I was having a drink with him directly after she won our race at Ascot. And his immediate reaction was, she won't run in your race at Cheltenham. He said, I don't think it will suit her at all. So I've not spoke to him since then, but that was the immediate answer he gave me after the race. So I think a bit of a puzzle is unlikely to turn up.
OK, so that leaves the Pirates Queen as the value then, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, they were his two, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I spoke to Alan this morning, actually, Alan King, about both his two. So he's told me the Pirates Queen, she's in cracking form. And she's been winning through the winter despite the ground. She really likes nice, decent ground. So, you know, anything we get better at Cheltenham will suit her only too well. And the same with Lunique. She's in cracking form. They've given her a break through the winter because she don't like the soft ground, and bringing her back for our race. And Wayne Hutchinson's going to ride her. But going back to your initial question, Nicky Henderson. Yeah, I was at his stable yesterday, and When you go and visit a lot of these stables and you watch the preview shows, I've learned over the years it's not so much what these trainers say, because they're going to pretty much say that they're not going to send a horse to Cheltenham if it's not in good shape and good form. It's more the little twinkle in their eye or the little things they don't say. And I've got to know Nicky a little bit over the last few years, and he had a little smile on his face when I mentioned Polly Peacham to him. He said she's in cracking form. He said, I've took her, she was going to Kempton today for a workout. He's taken a few there today. He said, but she's in really good nick and I'm pleased with her. And he said it in a way that she's really come back to herself. You know, she had that desperate outing at Kempton earlier in the season. The ground was totally against her. If you remember that day, Nicky actually had, I think it was 3 odds-on shots beaten at the same meeting. The ground was desperate. Ignore that run completely. He's freshened her up. She's back how he wants her, and she's going to be a major player. And another one of his Mayfair Music that's entered in our race, he said she won't run in the race, she'll go for one of the handicaps. Well,
that adds credence to my selection, Polly Peacham. There you go. There you go. In relation to Willie Mullins, I know that you do and have chatted to Willie. What's the feeling? Obviously, at the moment, Alan Power is 10 to 11. Can you give us any insight into Glenn's Melody and Ali Power, Dean?
Yeah, sure. I've not spoke to Willie for a couple of weeks. I'm going to ring him on the 5-day deck stage and have a chat about the two of them. There's been obviously a bit of talk over the last couple of days about the possibility of Annie Power going for the World Hurdle. I think that's an absolute million. I can't have that. Every time I speak to Willie, he's one thing he says to me is, I want my horses running in the race what they've got the best chance of winning, especially at the Cheltenham Festival. It's obvious she's got a better chance of winning our race. She'd be slight odds on. She'd be, 5 to 2, 3 to 1 in the World Hurdle. We're a Grade 1 race now as well, so there's no benefit in going for the World over ours. And as Matt said earlier on, the trip would be ideal. So I think she'll run in our race without a shadow of a doubt. As you can imagine, the forum discussion on our site is really sort of building momentum now. And to be honest with you, the popular opinion is that she's opposable. The odds is what have to take you into where you want to be, and if she's around 10 to 11, possibly shorter on the day, do you want to be on? I know she's the best horse there. You two know that. She's the best horse in our race without doubt. People in the pro Annie Power camp keep repeating that Willie Mullins did it with Quevega. He brought her here first time out. They're two different horses entirely. Quevega, that was the plan. That was the plan all year, to come there, first time out. She knew what she was doing. She was experienced. Annie Power, this isn't what they wanted to happen. This has been made to, they've been forced, only a couple of weeks ago. They were still sort of just barely on track, So there's enough there. she could get buzzed up. It's the opening day of the festival. She's not been out for a year, you know. She might run a bit free early on. There's enough there to oppose her odds against, and there's enough in the opposition. You know, there's at least 5 or 6 good mares in there that if she's not at her best, they'll turn her over. And to be honest with you, the most likely one, looking at what not only what I think, but also what the members are saying on our site, that even though she may not win, most likely that Willie Mullins could still take the trophy home, because Glenn's Melody is the most popular horse on our forum at the moment, and I can see why.
Okay, Matt?
Yeah, hi Dean, Matt here.
Hello, Matt.
Hi, yeah, do you agree, man? Just from, you know, I obviously have my own handicap system, and for me, from my time of reading form, I think this is probably, I mean, I've been up to it now for about 12 years. It's probably the most competitive and the highest quality I've ever seen anyway.
Yeah, well, I hope this is starting to, you know, our sponsorship of not just this race, but plenty of mares races over here is starting to gradually bear fruit, and that's why we're having these more competitive races. But like you said, there's half a dozen in there. Her own stable companion, Glenn's Melody. I mean, her career form figures during February, March and April, she's had 7 runs and she's won 5 of them, and she was second to just Quivega and Annie Power in the other 2. She hits her form this time of the year. I was with her owners after she won another of our races at Warwick, and they were saying to me she's a bigger and stronger horse this year. What Peter said earlier about they was going to retire at the end of the season is totally correct. That was going to happen. They had a rethink, and I think that's bearing fruit. She's a major player, and I mean, I backed her at 8-1 recently each way, and I think even 6-1 each way. I can't have her out the frame, to be honest with you. But you know, like, there are several others: Polly Peacham, Lunique, Raw Destraval. You know, to name just a few, and I think you'd be mad to back her at odds on, and the members are totally in agreement.
Do you share my concerns with Polly Peacham with this trip having really looked like the trip needed 2 miles 6 furlongs?
I can see what you're saying, but I think it's going to be a big field. I can see that, because what you've got to remember is there'll be a few rags in here as well, you know, just trying to pick up the places, because the black type for these mares is so valuable. I can see there being 15, 16 runners, and they'll go a fair clip. The Cheltenham Kiel is what it is. You know, it's going to run like a 2 mile 5, 2 mile 6 race, I think. And I don't think it'll bother her. I think she's got a bit of pace about her, and I think, you know, as long as the ground's not soft, I think she'll be fine.
Dean, we are running out of time, but I do want to obviously promote you. Obviously, you've come on here this evening. You talked about your forums. How do people register? And very quickly, what is OLBG all about? You've got about a minute, though. All
right, I'm going to get it in quick. The register is simple. Just go on OLBG.com. It's all free. It takes 2 minutes. We've got great forum discussions, tipping competition. We've got one coming up for Cheltenham, £1,000 guaranteed prize fund, and that's totally free to enter. Follow us at OLBG on Twitter, and all the details are given out on there as well. So yeah, you can have fun with it and enjoy Cheltenham. Fantastic. And before you go, I want 2 things from you. One, your tip for Cheltenham, and secondly, on your forums, who's the most popular horse? The most popular horse for our race at the moment is Glenn's Melody, and we're opposing Annie Power at the moment. But as I say, keep your eye on that. That can change. My nap of the week, I gave you one last year. One at 16-1. Yeah. This year, 16-1 again. Monksland wins the World Hurdle. Monksland.
Interesting.
Right, OK. Dean, thank you very much indeed for joining us, and hopefully we'll get you on the phone again between now and Cheltenham. Yeah, that'd be nice. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Dean. Bye. Right, OK. We haven't got very long, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the email details up on the screen. Hopefully we'll get those details on the screen. Matt? Yeah, if you want to be part of the show, keep them coming. I really appreciate what we've had. We've had so many emails and tweets. Do keep them coming. I will get round to them. Twitter me at ValueRater, or email me at value.rater@outlook.com. That's value.rater@outlook.com, or Twitter @ValueRater. But any subjects you'd like us to cover, obviously we're really busy up at Cheltenham at the moment,
But after Cheltenham, we will be having really some deep discussions on various topics.
Yeah, OK. Well, that is, I mean, the scooted by.
I know, it's great.
We said 45 minutes for a show. We could spend 2 hours talking about it. I hope, obviously, we've pointed you in the right direction and sort of suggested that the Mayor's Hurdle is a difficult one to find the winner from. Matt, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks,
Next
Peter.
week, we're going to be covering
the Arkle. The Arkle next week.
Also, thank you very much to Dean Goddard from OLBG as well for coming on the phone this evening. And do visit their website. It's an excellent website, and you can all get involved. It's all racing people getting involved on forums and things like that. And they also have some good bets as well that you can have as well. Right, that is it for this evening. We are back on Saturday. We're looking ahead to the big days racing. We've also got big Cheltenham things happening here as well next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. See you then. Bye-bye.